Hey, we're in my shop in East Idaho, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to show you top 10 tools that is a must-have in your wood shop in order to build things. You're watching TMBRMAN TV. All right, let's start with number 10, and that's going to be your skill saw. Let's go check out the skill saw, what it looks like, and what it's used for. Like the miter saw, this is a circular saw. This is a handheld saw. A lot of them are corded. This one's battery powered. This is gonna be much more mobile than the miter saw, but the problem with these is they can be pretty dangerous. They can slip out of your hand or come back and bind. So you gotta definitely have some confidence when using a circular saw, but this is something definitely handy to have on the job site if you want to make quick cuts. All right, at number 9 is the miter saw. And a miter saw table that I built. I'll show you how I built it. Let's go check that tool out. So this is the miter saw. You don't have to have it set up like I do with this whole miter saw table, which I'd recommend to do, which I just built out of 3/4 ply, some 4x4, and a 2x6. Making a very easy workbench that's holding the miter saw up. The great thing about the miter saw is it's easy to cut 45-degree angles like that. So this saw can swivel back and forth this way. It can also swivel this way. So it's called a compound miter saw. This is just an easy, productive way, much faster than a skill saw and more precise and safer than using a skill saw or a circular saw. So here's the miter saw. All right, at number 8 is gonna be a belt sander. Let's go check out the belt sander, which is one aggressive beast. The beast. This is called a belt sander because it spins a belt along these wheels here, and there's different grits you can use. Typically with a belt sander, you're trying to hog off a lot of material. So let's say on this table, if there was a higher portion of wood here than here, that orbital's not really gonna work that well. The belt sander is gonna give you a much more flush finish. So this thing is much more aggressive. It can run away from you. It can dig into wood if you're not careful. And it's a great tool to have in your shop to get things down to an even plane. All right, at number 7 is your orbital sander. Much relation to the belt sander, it's gonna be a little bit finer of a job. So let's go see what that thing looks like and what it's used for. Here's your orbital sander. This is your little handy dandy guy after you're done doing belt sanding. This is gonna be for finish. So just like on this bench I'm working on, this is down to a 220 grit, nice and smooth, and that's what we're gonna use this orbital sander for. It's not gonna be good for taking large amounts of material off, more for finishing with smooth surfaces. Number 6 is a table saw. This is one of the most dangerous tools, but it's highly effective, definitely something you wanna have. Let's go check that out. Here's the table saw. I love this bad boy. It has those big old wheels, easy to move around. If you have a more permanent shop and you're getting more advanced in carpentry, then you can move to more of a stable outfeed table and something that's completely built in. I like having this mobile just because I might have different things going on in this shop. This is a dangerous tool. Obviously you have a blade spinning at very high RPMs right here. Things happen, people lose their fingers mostly on this tool. So make sure to look up how to use this tool safely. Maybe I'll post a video on how to operate this tool safely, but this is easy to rip down different widths out of material, straight line material. It's a must-have in your carpentry shop. All right, at number 5 is your compressor. Here's the pancake compressor. How are you gonna use your brad nailer or your framing gun without air? Kind of a no-brainer, gotta have air, unless you're gonna go with an all battery system, which I don't recommend. They typically don't have as much kick and power to them, or you run out of battery. So there's that guy, but over here, I got a bigger one. You can hook up a big compressor like this, run hoses all around. That setup's from the last shop I was in with this guy. So you could have a big stationary compressor with all your chucks and air hoses, or you can get this pancake, which is much more mobile, get you air on the job sites for all your tools. Number 4 is a brad nailer or a pin nailer. So this guy's gonna shoot 18 gauge nails, and this is something that you can tack material together. Say we're shooting right here across before we come back with any screws or any other fasteners. This guy is going to be a must-have in carpentry. It's one of your easiest fastening tools. Number 3 is clamps. Let's go check out the different types of clamps. These are my clamps. I just hang them up here when I'm not using them. You're going to use these when you're doing your table glue ups or gluing any wood together, and you got to hold it together or hold wood down. It's definitely nice to have these really long clamps so that you can glue and clamp big tabletops together. All these little guys too, and sometimes you don't need those big clamps. Sometimes if you're working on floating shelves or smaller projects, these clamps are what you're gonna wanna use. Carpentry is almost impossible without the use of clamps, so make sure you pick up some clamps. Number 2 is a biscuit joiner. Let's go see what that thing looks like. This is your biscuit joiner. There's actually a blade inside there that comes out once you press this machine into material, and what this does is creates a slit in the side of material to then put what is called a biscuit in. So what the heck is a biscuit? Glad you asked. Have some right here. They're these guys. So they're little like wood chips that slide into that slit. That way when you join two pieces of wood together that are glued, they have a better connection. So biscuit joiner, again, this is used for joining wood together and gluing wood together. And number 1, it sounds so stupid, but sawhorses and a work table. Trust me, the last thing you want to do with all these tools is work on the ground. Come on, let's go check them out. All right, and then we have our sawhorses and work table. Man, this shop is a mess, which I love because we got a lot of projects going on. It's hard to get time in between just to clean up, but it would be so much of a headache to not have all these sawhorses that I could put material on to work on, as well as a workbench. This is an easy work tabletop to build. It's 3/4 inch ply, 4x4, 2x6. Just make a box. And that's something that gives you a level surface to work off of either. But yeah, you can't work efficiently without having sawhorses and a work table. And if you can, build a miter saw table. So that's definitely not every tool that I own. It's not every tool that you need, or maybe there's other tools that you'll need for the special projects that you're working on. But that's a good basis to start with. If you have these tools in your shop, you'll be able to make a lot of products and have a lot of fun doing that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button and click that notification bell. Leave a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on the different tools that you have or questions you might have about tools. You're watching Timberman TV. We'll see you next time.